G'day everyone, my name is Angela Imahinay, a third-year BS Ed English student at Negros Oriental State University, Shaton Campus. For this video, I am going to discuss the two important sociological perspectives that help us understand how education works in society. The structural functionalism, particularly the ideas of Talcott Parson, and the interactionist theory, also known as symbolic interactionism. This is under Unit 1, Society, Education, and Philosophical Foundations, Social Theories in Education. I have here the learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to explain how structural functionalism and interactionist theory describe the relationship between school, community, and social interaction, analyze school and community scenarios, and classify them according to structural functionalism or interactionist theory through group discussions and presentation, and demonstrate respect for diverse rules, leadership styles, and perspective by actively participating in collaborative and reflective activities. So let us begin by examining the broader society-level perspective, the structural functionalism. Structural functionalism is a macro-level sociological theory. This means it focuses on large social structure and how they work together to maintain order, stability, and continuity in society. Talcott Parson believed that society is like a living system made up of interconnected parts, such as family, school, government, religion, and economy. Each part has a function, and when all parts perform their roles properly, society remains stable and organized. In education, this theory views schools not as isolated institutions, but as essential components that help society survive and progress. So to understand this perspective better, let us look at its core ideas. First is society as a system. School as part of society's overall structure. They do not exist alone. Instead, they interact with other institutions like family, government, and economy. For example, a family send children to school, government set educational policies, and the economy depends on schools to produce skilled worker. In this way, schools both influence and are influenced by other parts of society. Second is social order and stability. So education helps maintain social order by teaching students shared values, norms, and behaviors. When students learn what is acceptable and expected in society, they are more likely to act in ways that promote peace, cooperation, and social harmony. For example, school teach respect for authority, punctuality, cooperation, and fairness, values that help society function smoothly. Third is functional rules. Every institution in society has a rule. Schools in particular perform several important rules. They transmit cultural values. They prepare individuals for the workplace. They ensure social continuity by passing knowledge and traditions from one generation to next. Thus, school helps society survive and improve over time. At this point, we can deepen our understanding by examining Parsons' Agile framework. The Agile schema, or the Parsons functional imperatives. Parsons proposed the Agile schema to explain the four basic needs that every social system must meet to survive. Education plays a vital role in all these four. So let us discuss each of these function imperatives one by one. First, A for adaptation. This means society must adapt to its environment and meet material needs. So in education, school prepare learners with the knowledge and skills needed to adapt to economic and technological changes. For example, school teach literacy, numeracy, digital skills, and vocational competencies so students can participate in the workforce and contribute to the economy. Next is J, goal attainment. Means society must set goals and achieve them. So in education, school help achieve societal goals such as academic success, employment readiness, and responsible citizenship. Through curricula, standards, assessment, and policies, School guides students towards goals that society considers important. Next is integration. This means that society must regulate relationship among individuals to maintain unity and cooperation. In education, school promotes social cohesion by enforcing rules and discipline, encouraging respect for diversity, teaching shared values. Through classroom routines, school policies, and group activities, school helps students learn how to live and work together peacefully. And L for latency or pattern maintenance means society must preserve and transmit values, beliefs, and cultural patterns over time. So in education, school pass on moral values, cultural traditions, discipline, and motivation. So for example, through subjects like history, values education, and social studies, school ensure that important cultural beliefs and practices continue across generations. Now that we have understood the AGL functions, let us examine the specific educational functions of schools according to structural functionalism. First is socialization. School teach students to behave as a member of society. This includes respecting rules and authority, practicing cooperations and teamwork, and developing self-discipline and responsibility. So through routines, classroom rules, and school culture, students learn how to function in society beyond school. So they learn how to function according to their actions. Second, role allocations and meritocracy. Schools evaluate students based on their ability, effort, and achievement. This process helps society match people to appropriate roles. So for example, high-performing students may be guided toward professional careers. Others may be directed to technical or vocational path. This process supports the idea of meritocracy where positions are earned based on performance rather than family background. Third is skill and knowledge development. School transmit culturally valued knowledge and skills such as reading and writing, mathematics and science, and communication and critical thinking. So these skills prepare students for work, citizenship, and lifelong learning. Fourth is the social integration. School brings together students from diverse backgrounds and teach them common norms and values. Through shared activities, school events, and group learning, students develop a sense of belonging and unity which strengthens social cohesion. Fifth is stabilizing society. Through structured norms, routines, clear expectations, and organized learning, schools create predictability and order. This stability helps reduce social conflict and supports the smooth functioning of society. So far, we have examined education from a macro level or big picture or perspective. Now, let us shift our focus to the micro level by exploring interactionist theory. So interactionist theory, also known as symbolic interactionism, is a micro-level sociological theory. This means it focuses on small-scale, everyday interactions between individuals, especially in face-to-face settings like in the classroom. Unlike structural functionalism, which looks at how schools serve society as a whole, interactionism looks at how teachers and students create meanings through daily interactions. So to understand this theory more clearly, let us examine its core ideas. First is the social interactions create meaning. So people act based on the meanings they assign to things, and these meanings come from social interaction. So in school, students do not just respond to rules or lessons. They respond to how teachers treat them, how classmates react to them, and how they interpret these experiences. Second is symbols matter. So these symbols includes language, gestures, labels, and expectations. So these symbols influence how people see themselves and others. So for example, a teacher's word, tone, and body language can strongly affect a student's behavior, confidence, motivations, and performance. So now that we have understood the core ideas, let us explore how symbolic interactionism views education in practice. So first, teacher-student interaction. So teachers' expectations and behavior influence students' performance. So for example, if a teacher believes a student is capable, the teacher may give more attention, encouragement, and challenging tasks to the student. So this positive treatment can lead to higher student achievement. Second is labeling and self-fulfillment. So students may be labeled as smart, slow learner, troublemaker, high achiever. So these labels can affect how students see themselves and how others treat them. So if a student is repeatedly labeled negatively, the student may begin to act according to that label. This leads to a self-fulfilling prophecy where expectations influence behavior and outcome. Third is classroom social processes. So daily classroom interactions such as feedback, praise, discipline, and group work create patterns of meanings that shape how students learn, how teachers teach, and how relationships develop in the classroom. So learning is not only about content, it's also about social interaction. Lastly is peers influence and identity. Peers play a strong role in shaping our self-concept, motivation, behavior, and academic identity. Students often define themselves based on how their peers see and treat them. Peer approval or rejection can affect participation, confidence, and performance in school. Now that we have examined both theories, let us bring everything together in conclusion. So in conclusion, structural functionalism and interactionist theory offer two important perspectives on education. Structural functionalism explains how schools contribute to social stability, order, and continuity by fulfilling important societal functions, while interactionist theory explains how everyday interactions, symbols, and label inside school shape school student identity, behavior, and learning. As a future teachers and educational leaders, understanding both perspectives help us appreciate the broader role of education in society and become more mindful of how our daily interactions with students can positively or negatively shape their lives. That's all for my report. Thank you for listening.